Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 135 of the Orange Pill Investor. It's Friday, it's roll day, so today we're going to go through all of the trades. And let's get started with basically the main account. Last week, I can't remember if I purchased these 2,000 shares. I basically diversified a little bit, which, yeah, I know it's selling the winners to buy losers, but Tasty Trade was a little pissed off about my concentration risk in MicroStrategy. They didn't really like 90, 95% or whatever of my portfolio being in one stock, and a volatile one at that. So, had 2,000 shares of HUT, sold 20, sorry, that enabled me to sell 20 covered calls. So this is worth next to nothing now, so let's just try to close this for profit. Let's see if I can get it for one. I might have to pay two. It's a little bit annoying having to pay that extra dollar or two. And on these cheap stocks, it really hurts. If you're trading in a very small account and you're kind of have that kind of slippage in your profits, like you're only profiting. Ah, shit, I lost it already. What did I sell my HUT covered calls for? Yeah, so I only got paid $10, and then to end up having to pay that extra dollar is 10% of your profits. So, I mean, if I was really desperate, I could just let this expire today and then put the call up on Monday. But you know, to a certain extent, time is money. So I also like to just get this stuff done. All right, so HUT is trading around $9. So let's go to next week. And I could trade the 9.5, allow for a little bit less than 5% call away and collect, what is that, 4% for the week. But let's do the 10 again. That gives me that gives me 10% call away. And let's do all 20. And let's try 15. What? I don't know if I hit backspace or what the hell happened. Wow, let's try to sell right in the mid price. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If that don't fill, I'll just come in at 15, which is the ask. So, or is that the bid? Whichever. All right, so got paid $15 per contract. The collateral is $900 for each contract, so that is about 1.5% ROI for the week and 10% call away value. So loving that. All right, I started, for people who are interested in the wheel, I started phase 1 of the wheel in Mara last week and sold 20 puts. You can just sell one, but I think Tasty Trade gives you a discount if you do lots of 20. So that's what I did. So I sold them for $1 each and put $100 in profit down for $2,000 in collateral, which is about 5% ROI for the week. But I'm going to have to buy this back for 5 cents. So that's about, I'm keeping 95% of the profits here. So let's see if I can get the fill for 6. And that's going to return what? I think it said it was going to release 20 grand worth of buying power to me. And of course, the market makers are trying to piss me off today. Oh, it did go through. Okay, sweet. Man, the market makers listening to my videos in real time while I'm recording. That's interesting. All right, so we're still on phase one of the wheel because Mara is still above 20. So I sold puts for 20 bucks, and I was able to just buy it back for cheap. And so now I can switch clear for May 31st. Now I want to sell a put again. If you're on a different exchange, different brokerage, and it's like you have the choices of sell to open, buy to open, buy to close, sell to close, all that good crap. So we're opening a trade here. We have no trade, so we have to open one. And in other exchanges, this may be called sell to open put. That's the same thing that's happening here. Shorting a put option, or selling a put, or selling to open a put is all the same shit. I don't know why they have to make it more complicated. But Mara is actually trading on increments of 50-cent strikes, so that's pretty cool. I'm just going to sell 20 more at the money, and you can see that my buying power was restored. So I had like 70 grand worth of buying power, and now it's going to take that away again. And so I'm just going to sell these at the money puts again, and let's try to sell them for a little couple extra pennies here. So I'm going to try to sell it for 93, see if I can get a quick fill, and now my 24 grand of buying power has been sucked away again. But I got paid 93 cents. And collateral is 2 grand a pop, so that's a little bit, was that 4%, a little over 4.5% ROI for the week. And if the price of Mara drops below 2050, I will be assigned 2,000 shares. And then phase one of the wheel will be complete. However, if Mara just continues to go up and up and up, then I'll just be on step one of the wheel forever, which would be fine. Or making 4% a week is just fine with me. That would be 200% by the end of the year, and that's perfectly acceptable terms. All right, here's the big daddy, MicroStrategy. So I sold the 1800 and I sold the 1885 last week, and I will be able to book basically all of that in profit. So let me try to buy this back for cheap. Let me try to buy it back for like 10. See if this works. Probably not. Well, let me just try to buy back. Which one was that? The 1800? All right. Let me try to buy back my 1885 for 35. Wait, why was that one more expensive? Okay, I got jacked. I paid too much for that one. But let me go up to 20. Let's go 19. Probably get a fill on that one. Yep. All right. So now I released those 100 shares each, and I can sell new covered calls. So switch this to short call. And if I do basically the same as last week and try to build in 20% call away, that would be about $300. So instead of, so actually the 1885 again would work. Now it doesn't look like I can get 1% at that level. which is a little bit annoying. I usually try to collect at least 1% on the premium, which would put me at, see, I've got the bid asks here. So this would be about 13, closer to 1,800. No. Right about here, I could probably get a fill. No, right here. Yeah, 1840. So that's probably okay for one of them. Let's try to collect 1550, or maybe I go down to the, no, I have to go up and try to collect 1595 here. Or 16. Try to collect 1600. Did not work. So let's walk that down. 1570. The only trouble with MicroStrategy is that the options are not as liquid as a lot of the other stocks. So I'm just going to keep walking this down to try to get as much premium as possible out of this. All right, that got a fill. All right, so what did I get for that one? I got 1535, almost 1%. So now I have a decision to make. Am I going to sell the other one for 1% profit or 20% call away? %20 call away would get me to like 1885 again. So let's just do 1880. That's only about, what, 2/3 of a percent? It's kind of annoying. Let's go with it. Oops. Let's try to get a little bit more though. 1195. Let's try to get to 13. All right. No bites at 13, so let's drop to 1260. Fill. All right, cool. I did not have my strikes breached, so I was basically able to collect all of that profit. So I don't think I need to take profits here on this, nor on any of these shares. Let me just look and see the options chain. I think the top is still 3,800. Yeah. All right, next, Riot. I actually sold this one midweek. So this one, I'm going to actually have to buy back for more than I sold it. But this is the one that I trade with my son. And so oh, maybe I was on the wrong week. Did I sell that for tomorrow or next week? All right, well, that might be for nothing. All right, so I'm going to sell the 11, collect 24 bucks. And then Tesla, I've got 4 180 strikes. So let's close those and keep about 2/3 of the profit. And close these 185 strikes and keep basically all of this. See if I can get fills at 2. Big money, no whammies. Nope. Okay. In the interest of time, I mean, you can sit there and watch it if you want to squeeze every little penny out of these. All right, so I've got these 2 leaps. I can sell 2 covered calls against this. I got 400 shares. I can sell 4 covered calls against this. The way that I ballpark my poor man's covered calls is I try to get 1%, instead of trying to get 1% of what the share value is, I try to get 1% of what the leaps value is. So I will only need to collect a minimum of like $50 on these in order to kind of make 1% on my collateral. Selling poor man's covered calls is a little bit more dangerous than just selling a regular covered call. So please do your research and understand the risk. All right, so let's do 2 of these. So my strikes against my leaps will be different strikes than against shares. So if I'm going to try to collect 1% on this premium, I can go to right about, really, I need to go in between the 185 and the 182, and I can't do that. So maybe I will sell 2 here. So 2 above 1% and 2 below 1%, and maybe it'll average out. All right, good to go. I made it down to Tesla. And so let's figure out how much profit I collected today. In HUT, collected 15 times 20. So that's $300. Collected 20 times 90. Let's just call that $2,000. This plus this, it's really like what, 1,800 and 300, so 2,100. Collected 15 here, so that's 3,600, 4,600, 4,800, 4,824. All right, 4,800. Let's see, 50, 52 plus another 300, 55. And another 100 here, 56. So collected about 5,600. So if I want to reinvest all of that capital, and sell even some more covered calls, then maybe I try to pump, since I have this in increments of 2,000, I have this in increments of, 2,000, this one. Maybe I will buy as much Riot as I can. Wait, though. I think Riot, was that the one that... yeah, 100 shares of Riot should cost me $1,000. Oh, really? Oh, that's selling it. I want to buy 100 shares. Yeah, buying Riot is not giving me any kind of discount whatsoever. So that is annoying. So let's just go with HUT then. Let's do HUT. And if I'm buying 100 shares of HUT, instead of it costing me, this is a margin account. If you're in a cash account, you'll see what I showed you with Riot before. But Tasty Trade is only going to charge me almost basically half price for this. So if I multiply this times 10, and get another 1,000 shares of HUT, it should cost me $9,000, but it's really going to cost me the 5,500. So that actually works out pretty well. So I will go ahead and buy another 1,000 shares, and now I can sell 10 more covered calls. This is what I mean when I say once you reach a certain account size, you reach critical mass. And I'm actually going to be even greedier on this one, maybe. Because a lot of times when I start the wheel, I just sell right at the money. Since I purchased these for $9.20 a share, I'm just going to sell these covered calls right here, just above at the money, and collect like 4% ROI on the shares. Let's bump this up to 10 so I can take advantage of all 1,000. And I'm severely limiting my unlimited upside. I'm only going to be able to collect like 28 cents, which is what, 3% call away value? Totally fine with that. So I reinvested all of my profits, and then so now I just made an extra $300 off the shares that I just purchased. And so I could take that $300 and then I could go buy what, 30 more shares of HUT if I really wanted to do that. But the other option is I was thinking about adding some more of these leaves, but I already spent it, so no biggie there. All right, so my buying power ended up right back basically where I started, but I booked $500 $5,000 in premium, and reinvested all the profits. And let's do the small account, the 5K account, which is finally up 10%. That is fantastic news, since I was just struggling to stay above water. This count got down to like 3K at one point. So same thing, if you're using Robinhood, you can just buy it back for $1. Oh, actually, I just paid $3. I wasn't paying attention. All right. Sell the covered call for next week. If I choose the 10, it's going to be 10% call away value and what? 2% ROI and 10% call away value. And they don't want to give me a fill. They really like, wait, why would it not give me a fill at, let me try this again. Try at 19. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, they are really trying to stick it to me on the bid ask. All right, so I'm just going to have to smash the bid and just get an instant fill, because nobody wants to sit through this bullshit. Least of all me. All right, I got 2 Maras. So let's buy both of these bad boys back. Sold them for 48 each, buying them back for 8 each, keeping the $40. And let's go out to next week. It's worth 21, so if I sell the 23s, that's 10% call away value. Gonna collect about 2.5% ROI on these each on the premium. I was gonna say, boy, Robinhood really does not want to give me fills today. All right, Mara's done. Riot. Buy it back for $1. Sell for next week. 10% call away value would get me to about 1150. So if I sell the 1150 strikes, 10% call away value, collecting about 1.5% ROI. All right, it's just that easy. But let me see here. Do I have? Oh, whoops. Do not want to see a Benzinga article. All right, so collected $20, $100, so that's 120, 135. Collected $135 here. Now MicroStrategy is finally up. So my average cost here is $1,400. And my market value is $2,000. So if I go ahead and sell in dollars enough to buy, which of these stocks is my favorite to trade here? I've got enough to go get 100 shares of Mara. So let's do that. I'm using MicroStrategy as my store of value. So let's sell like $2,000 worth. No. I'm selling. Oh boy, that was almost annoying. All right, boom. Now my buying power has increased dramatically. So let's go to Mara and buy another 100 shares. Change to a limit order. I don't want to pay more than $21.15. 13. 100 shares. Boom. Purchase. All right. So now I have 300 shares. I sold these 2 covered calls. So let's sell another covered call. And again, I'm going to be a little bit greedier with the premium just because I want to just knock the cost basis down real quick. So I'm gonna sell like the 22. So I've got about 90 cents worth of call away. That's like 5%, and I'm going to collect 4% almost ROI. So I talk about collecting 1% all the time, 1%, 1%, but that's just kind of being very conservative, capturing, maybe it makes the unlimited upside people happier, and I'm capturing a lot of upside, potential upside. But when I purchase something, I like to really just knock the cost basis down as much as possible. So I just knock down the cost basis. Let me refresh. Down 80 cents per share. So on that 100 shares, I knocked the cost basis down to, what, 21.20 or something. I like that. All right, all of my 524s are gone. I reinvested all of my my profits this week. I took some profits in MicroStrategy, converted that into something that I can generate more income with. And so this is a good week. All right. I reached out to all the folks for that I guess, quote unquote, won the 1K followers celebration. So I'll be working with those folks, and then I will be providing some updates on their trading adventures. All right. That's it for now. Be good, y'all.